Do you ever wonder what it's like to ship your items once they've sold on eBay or other resale platforms? Well, I'm going to bring you along with me this week and show you everything that I do from sale to shipping. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Michelle. Welcome to my channel, Favor and Grace. That would be Doodle over there barking because someone is delivering a package outside right in the middle of my video. Of course, but hey, this is real life. I am a mom, a wife, and a part-time reseller on platforms like eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, Kidizen, and other similar places. Facebook Marketplace. There's so many, I can't even remember them all. So this week, I am going to take you along with me as I ship my items. So once they've sold, if you've ever wondered what happened, what happens from there, I'm going to show you. So everything that I sell this week, I'm going to package up with you so that you can see what I do. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, here we are with our Monday sales that I'm packaging up to go out. I'm going to go ahead and do the whole week together in one video because I don't have enough sales in one day to do a very long ship with me video. So here we go. We have 3 things that sold on Monday. So the first one is this pair of J. Crew men's swim trunks. And those are really lightweight and will go first class. So I have these poly mailers. You could also, if you prefer, you could do a flat rate envelope and just charge that fee. As long as you know that it'll fit into the flat rate, you can put it in there. But I usually just go ahead and do these poly mailers and go first class on them. So just put those in the bottom because I'm going to fold it in half. Then I have these thank you cards that I put in there that just basically says thank you for your purchase. Thank you for supporting our small business. And that is it. I'm going to go ahead and just fold this over, kind of press the air out a little bit, and then I have this. I also have this, it's just a roll of thank you stickers. So I usually just put that on kind of the end flap there, or if it's something that I'm wrapping inside of the packaging, then I'll put the thank you on that. But then the last thing I do, so I don't have a Dymo label maker or anything for mailing labels right now. I would like to wait until I get to a little bit higher volume to justify purchasing one. So what I'm going to do is put the initials of the person who purchased it on the outside of the package. And then I'm just going to do a quick weight, 7.5 ounces. So I'm going to put on here 8 ounces. And then when I purchase the label, I'll get a QR code. And then when I go to the post office, I just pull up the QR code on my phone. They scan it, print the label for me, and it goes right on there. So my post office is really good. I don't have any issues with them giving me a hard time. They're really just an awesome post office. So they are happy to do my labels, print my labels for me, and I usually go during sort of non-peak times, so doesn't really take too long to do. So You can try it if you don't have your own label printer. You can also print it just on paper and tape it on, but for me that's just like too time consuming, time wasting, so I don't do that. QR codes work great for me. It usually takes me longer to pull up the next QR code than it does for the post office to actually print the label and put it on the package. All right, so the next thing that I have are these Rock Revival jeans. Oh, and I'm jumping back, the shorts sold for $15. I paid $2 for them, and when you take out the eBay, these are all eBay sales. When you take out the eBay fees, that leaves me with an $11 earning on those. For the Rock Revival jeans, those sold for $36, and I paid $8 for them, and that leaves me with $23.50 profit on them. So same thing with them. I have the pink poly mailer. I'm going to slide them in. That's going to take up a little more space than the shorts did, and they're heavier, so they're actually going to go priority rather than first class. So next time I'll move my camera back so you can actually see my shipping table. So again, I have my package closed. I have my sticker on there. Gonna put the initial for the purchaser, and then just gonna do a quick weight check. And I just have a regular kitchen scale, so that's 1 pound 6 ounces. So I just put 1.6, and that one's ready to go. Same thing, QR code. They'll print it for me and put the label on. All right, so the last thing I have is this pair of combat boots. Those sold for $32. I paid $6 for them, so that gave me a $22 earnings on it. So I just have this recycled box that we had here. You could also, there are several different priority mail box options that aren't flat rate, so you can get those for free. So that's a great option so that you aren't buying boxes yourself. But anytime I have boxes from my own shipments and things, maybe even friends or neighbors give me whatever the case may be, I try to recycle those. So I didn't bring my packing paper in, so I'm not gonna do this all the way, but I just have some regular tan packing paper. So I'm gonna wrap the boots and put them in here, and probably put a little extra stuffing in them. Put my card in, and then I'm gonna do a quick weight check on that just to make sure. So I had those at a 4 pound and 6 ounce rate, and without the paper they're 4 pound and 1 ounce. So when I put the paper on there, that will still be perfectly fine. That'll ship at the 5 pound rate. Anything that's between 4 pounds and 5 pounds will ship at that 5 pound rate. So I'll just put the packing paper, wrap the boots, put them in there, stuff a little more paper in it just so it doesn't jostle around too much, and tape up the box. And same thing, QR code, take it to the post office. They'll print the label for me, stick it on there, and these will be all set to go. So normally I try to ship about every other day. Normally, it kind of just depends on how many items I have. Of course, for the weekend, I will ship those things on Monday, and then through the week, unless I happen to have a day that I have several things, I will go ahead and just do 2 days worth and ship those out that way. But otherwise, that's everything that we have for today. Hopefully we'll have some more sales tonight and tomorrow, so we'll do another video once we have a few other things to add to it. But for Monday, that's all we have. All right, thanks. Good morning, everyone. This is Doodle. You may have seen her before. I have a couple of videos with her on my channel, so you can check those out if you want to see more of Doodle. But she was just down here on guard duty because some big scary person was delivering some packages to our front door, so she had to check it out, bark a little bit, make sure everything was okay. So she just wanted to say hi. So hi. Say hi, everybody. All right, so I'm gonna let her go because she's not feeling the video this morning. She's still worried about who's at my front door. So anyway, it is Tuesday morning. So yesterday I had some sales from Sunday night and Monday morning that we packaged up. So far this morning, usually Tuesday and Wednesdays are pretty slow days for me. Sometimes I'll get a sale or two. I have some offers out on eBay and Poshmark, so we'll see if any of those pan out. But last night, right after I finished packaging the items from Sunday night and Monday, I had a sale that went through, but I had already finished taping, so or I guess it's recording. I guess I'm aging myself by saying taping, but you know what I mean. All right, so one thing that I wanted to just go back to is the boots that I showed you yesterday. I didn't have my packing paper with me in here, so I just have some regular tan packing paper. Hopefully you can hear me over the crinkling. But as you may have heard, if you're returning, by the way, if you're returning, thank you for coming back for another video. If you're new here, you may not know that we are a military family. So if you know anything about the military, you know that we don't stay put in one place for long. So there is always a neighbor or a friend or someone that I know that has moved recently. So our family as a whole are big advocates on recycling. So I hate to see this just to go in the trash or go into recycling, but maybe doesn't quite get to the recycling center. So I like to reuse everything that I can reuse. And plus, it's a good way to cut costs because I don't have to buy it because I can get it for free and usually as much as I want. So I just wrap them up, and I have my box here that I showed you in the other video. And there's a little bit of space left over. So I'm gonna, before I put the card in, I'm actually going to go ahead and put my thank you sticker just on the top boot there. And on the thank you note, I showed this to you earlier, but I always put the person who purchased the item, I put their name on top and then sign my name at the bottom. And then I'm going to take one more paper, scrunch it up really good, and toss that in the top, and that just kind of keeps the boots from shuffling around so much. And then I'll tape that up. All right, so that's the just kind of a recap on the one that I showed you already, but adding the paper. Now the cell that came through last night, this I just showed you on the last video. I think it was a couple of videos ago, just less than a week ago that I posted it, where I sourced this at a local thrift shop. So it's just an Aeropostale Sherpa lined vest, puffer vest. So nothing too exciting or spectacular, but just a good quality item and a nice color. And one thing that we talked about in that video is instead of this being the shiny material, it's just kind of a muted gray, which is nice. So I'm just kind of tucking this in, folding it over where it looks nice, and then I have the weight set at 2 pounds on this because it's more than a pound, so it's going to ship at that 1 to 2 pound rate. And I showed you the smaller poly mailers with the items from yesterday, and I have a larger one. This actually, if I really wanted to work hard, I could get it into the smaller poly mailer, but there's really no reason for me to do that for this item since it's already over the 1 pound mark. Just going to slide it in there. This gives it plenty of space, and I don't have to fight with the bag to get it in there. The only time that I would go to the extra effort to get it into a smaller bag is if I was right on the cutoff for a shipping rate and I wanted to ship it at the lower rate. The smaller the bag, of course, it's going to be a little bit, just like slightly smaller, not enough to really matter in most cases. But I don't think that I showed it to you yesterday, but I just have a regular kitchen scale, digital scale. And then I have my handy dandy little jar that I use to put the stuff up higher so I can see the number easier. But all you need is a kitchen scale, unless you're going to use something or ship something that's a lot heavier. And I think this goes up to maybe 5 pounds, maybe not even quite 5 pounds, but everything that I ship, that seems to work for. But if there's something larger, you'll either need to go to the post office and use their scale, or my husband does the trick of standing on the regular bathroom scale, weigh himself, and then pick up the package, and then weigh himself holding the package, and then subtract the difference to get the actual weight of it. So if I need that done, especially if it's a heavy package, I usually ask him to do that. But all right, so I put my thank you note in there. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the scale on, pop it on there just to double check the weight. And it's 1 pound and 2 ounces, which is exactly what I thought it was going to be. These just have a peel off strip and they're self-sticking, so you just kind of have to fold it over on itself. Then I usually smash out the air a little bit just to make it not so poofy. Then, like with the ones yesterday, I'm just going to put the initial on there, and then 1 pound 2 ounces to remind me of the weight. I have had a couple of situations where I printed the label with eBay. When you go to create your shipping label, and which, by the way, if you've never shipped through eBay, if you purchase your mailing labels through eBay, you get a slight discount on them. So depending on the package and the discount for that shipping label, I will usually make maybe like an extra $1 off of shipping in a lot of cases. Not because I marked the weight, but because of the discount, I get that back from eBay. All right, lost my train of thought. I get off on a lot of tangents, so just hang with me when I do, and I will get back around to where I was at. So on eBay, what I normally do when I create the shipping label, I always check my weight to make sure that I have the weight in there correctly. There was one instance where for some reason I had the wrong weight in there, and I purchased the label, and then I realized that it was not a high enough weight on the label. So when I went to the post office, I just told the person at the counter how much I paid, how much the label originally cost. And so not what I paid, but the cost of the label, which it tells you when you click purchase the shipping label, and the weight that was in there. And she just calculated the difference, and I paid that additional, it was like 60 something cents. It wasn't much at all, but I paid that extra amount. She attached the additional label to it, and then just made a note on there that the additional shipping had been paid in case there were any issues. There weren't. So if you ever have a situation where you didn't pay for enough weight in your mailing, maybe you add 2 items together or bundle something, but you don't do that label correctly, just talk to your folks at the post office and they should be able to help you to add additional postage if needed. All right, so then I just have a Daiso bag. If you know about Daiso, it's pretty awesome. If you have never been to a Daiso, unless you live in another country besides the United States, you won't find one anywhere nearby. So this is a little bit too big for my bag, so I'm going to leave that out. Plus I need to tape it up. But I just toss my other packages in my bag here. I'll tape this box up, and then I'm going to go ahead and head to the post office, and this just makes it easier to get the packages in. So most of the time when I do my shipping, as I said before, it's about every other day. So not every day, because my sales right now are not a high enough volume that I need to ship on a daily basis. But I normally do have 3 or more packages when I ship. So it's nice to find yourself a good size shopping bag, or a lot of people use IKEA bags. I have a couple of big bags that I picked up at the Daiso when we lived in South Korea, and they're awesome and they're strong and can hold up to the wear and tear of going back and forth to the post office. So figure out a system that's going to work for you. What I do may not be what works best for you, so figure out what works for you. If you are just starting out and you don't have a ton of sales right now, then you may do a longer shipping time. So for me, right now, the post office nearby is maybe 5 minutes away, if that. And as I mentioned before, the people that work there are absolutely the very best that there are. It's probably one of the best post offices that I've ever used in all the places that we've lived. And then it's not usually super busy. Sometimes I go in and there's a line, but they get through the line pretty quickly. So I just enjoy going to that post office. So I don't mind going on a daily basis. When I have to pick up my kids from school, it's right on the way from school. So it's super easy to stop in and ship out packages. But if you have to go out of your way or make a special trip in a different direction or something like that, then you do have a few days to ship your items, so you don't have to worry about every single day going to the post office. If you have your own label printer, or if I've had things before that I wanted to get out that day, but I didn't have time to get to the post office before the end of the day. So I went ahead and printed my own label, taped it to the box. It was a larger item. I taped that to the box, and I put it out on my front porch and left a note. We have in our community, we have a community mailbox with the little keys that everyone goes to from like 2 or 3 streets in our housing area. So I just left a note on the mail box thing that, and my postage carrier knows that I resell stuff, so she's aware, and she's picked up packages for me. But at any rate, I left her a note saying that there's a package on my porch, and we happen to be just right across from the mailboxes anyway, so she comes over and grabs it and doesn't mind at all. You also can go on the USPS website and schedule a pickup. So if you would prefer to print your own labels and not have to make trips to the post office, you can go on the website and set up a pickup. You do have to tell them how many packages you have and where you're going to leave them. So for me to ship out the same day, for example, the vest that we just packaged up, it probably would have been too late last night by the time I went on the website and scheduled a pickup for it to happen today. So it probably would have been the next day before I could have had a pickup scheduled, and I was already going to the post office. So you just kind of have to figure out the quirks on your own, what works best for you. If it's easy for you to drop off at the post office, if it's easier for you to just leave it on your front porch and schedule a pickup, or if you know your mail carrier well, then you can talk with them and they can tell you what the best options are for you and for them to know that you need the assistance. So I think that's pretty much everything. That's a lot of information for today's shipping, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that either this afternoon, tonight, or tomorrow we have some more sales so that I can come back and package those up with you. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get to the post office and get these shipped out. The other advantage for my post office is when I actually take the packages, if I had my own labels printed and ready to go, I can just bring them in, put them on the counter. They have a spot for bulk shipping where you can just leave those there. But the thing that I like about going to the counter is, one, as I mentioned, I show my QR code and they print the label for me and stick it on the package. And also, when they do that process for me, that package gets scanned into the post office and it initiates the first step in the shipping process. So when the buyer checks their tracking, they can see that it was checked in at that post office. Sometimes if you just drop it off in the box or leave it, depending on your post office, leave it on the counter and things like that, it may not get scanned in before leaving that post office. It may be the next leg before it gets scanned in. So you just have to figure that out from trial and error or from talking to your local post office. But again, for me, I like it that they print the labels for me. I don't have that added expense, and they scan it in right there, and it's convenient. So at some point when I have a larger volume of sales, or if it's not as convenient for me to get to the post office, then maybe I'll adjust from there. But for now, that's all for today. So we'll see you hopefully tomorrow with some more sales. Bye. All right, we are back with our final 2 sales of the week. And then we're heading to the post office with these, and that'll wrap up our what sold video for this week. So the first thing that I have is just this plain Under Armour t-shirt. It is a heat gear t-shirt, really soft fabric, an extra large. And for this one, I did accept an offer on it for only $9. I had it listed for $12 plus shipping, and I only paid $2 for it to start with a big load of jeans and other things that I bought at a fundraiser yard sale that I went to quite a long time ago. So it's been hanging out for a while without any watchers or any real interest, and I just want to make some room for other inventory, so I went ahead and accepted that. So I have my thank you card to go in there. I'm just using one of the small poly mailers. The one thing with this is it was really easy, and actually kind of another reason that it was not such a big deal to accept a lower offer. It was really easy to list, just a front and back picture and then a picture of the tag, and I zoomed in on the Under Armour logo, and that was pretty much it, and uploaded those pictures, set up the listing, and it didn't take up a lot of space as far as storage, so it really wasn't that bad as far as listing. And then shipping, just like you saw, stuck it in a little poly mailer, and it is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and just double check my weight on that, and it's right at 6.9 ounces. So I'm going to put 7 ounces on there and the initials, and that one is ready to go out. Then the second one that we have is just a pair of women's Nike shoes that I've had listed again for a pretty good amount of time. I have had quite a few watchers for it, and I've sent offers a few times that just have fallen through. I actually had someone a couple of weeks ago, or maybe like a week and a half ago, that asked if I would reduce the shipping costs on it, which I usually don't reduce the shipping costs unless it's like a bundle order or something like that, especially something that I feel like is already priced pretty low to begin with, and this one was. But what I did was checked it out as far as the weight. So I had it listed as a 2-pound priority shipment because it's one of those that is right on the line of 1 pound or more. So I weighed the shoes, a sheet of packing paper, and the poly mailer, and it was just under a pound. So I can ship that also first class, just in a poly mailer. And I went ahead and changed my shipping to reflect that. So instead of first class, I have it shipping as instead of priority mail, I have it shipping as first class. So normally I don't ship shoes in a poly mailer because usually it isn't that close, and it's really not going to cost more if I put it in a box or not. But in this case, I had already changed the shipping to the first class rate, and a brand new person sent me an offer with the same amount that I gave the other person. So I accepted that offer, and I wrapped it just in some packing paper to give it a little extra support. They're just mesh, so they're not leather or suede or anything, so I wouldn't recommend shipping shoes that are leather or suede just in a poly mailer like that, because you could cause some damage to them that way. But for this, I think we're totally fine, and the person got a little bit of a discount on their shipping because of it, with a little thank you sticker on there. And I'm going to go ahead and weigh it again just to be sure. And it's 14.1. So that is good as well. I'm going to go ahead and mark that and get both of those ready to go to the post office this afternoon. And that wraps up our week of shipping. I appreciate you being here with me this week to see what we sold. Wasn't a big week, but made some good solid sales and got rid of some inventory that's been sitting around for a little while, and making room for the new things that are coming in. So if you haven't already, be sure and press that subscribe button below so that you stay connected and see any new content that comes out. And if you like this video, give me a big thumbs up so that I know that you would like to see more of these. All right, well, I hope everyone has a great week, and I will see you again next time. Bye.